Tonight, WWE presents a brand new episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown from the MVP Arena in Albany, New York on USA Network as we get closer and closer to WWE Survivor Series at the end of this month and John Cena's retirement match in December. Could Paul Triple H Levesque have some major surprises up his sleeve, or could his creative team have some surprises to offer as well? We're going to get into 5 possible major surprises that could happen tonight on WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and tonight it's another brand new episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown on USA Network. This week, the show is emanating from the MVP Arena in Albany, New York, and after a historic edition of Monday Night Raw this past Monday from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, which saw John Cena make one of his final appearances on WWE television, as well as win the Intercontinental Championship, and also the beginning of the Last Time Is Now tournament to crown whoever's going to be facing Cena in his retirement match. We now move on to an episode of the Blue Brand, and after Raw, there's still plenty of Survivor Series ramifications and next month's Saturday night's main event ramifications. So could Paul Triple H Levesque have some major surprises up his sleeve? Well, we're going to let you know 5 possible major surprises that could take place tonight live on SmackDown on USA, beginning with the Last Time Is Now tournament. We're going to be having 2 tournament matches tonight on WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Now, if it were up to The Miz, who's going to be facing off against Jey Uso this evening, if it were up to the former Intercontinental Champion, he would have already been booked as John Cena's final opponent at Saturday night's main event next month, as the man who defeated the greatest of all time in the main event of WrestleMania 27 with a little bit of help from The Rock. The Miz has been shouting to anyone who will seemingly listen that he deserves one final match with his old rival. And he will have the opportunity to earn just that in this tournament, but he's drawn a tough opening round matchup against former World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. Now, I don't think either of these men are going to be John Cena's final opponent next month. Cena, of course, again, does have a lot of history with The Miz, being that he faced him in the main event of WrestleMania 27. You can't kind of take that away from him, even if he doesn't remember it. Of course, infamously, The Miz got heavily concussed. He got knocked out during that match against Cena at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, when basically what happened was he was on the, if you go back and watch the match, he was on sort of the barricade, and Cena did this spot where he runs and kind of clotheslines him off the barricade, going over the top of it. And when you watch it back, you can see the Miz's head just smashes into the floor of the arena. There's this sort of sick thud rather, where his head just ricochets back, and then he's clearly out of it. He's glazed over. There's the footage isn't there of the Miz backstage at WrestleMania 27 getting checked out by the doctor. He's asking basically what happened. You see The Rock go up to him and thank him for it, John Cena as well, for his dedication. So there's a lot of history there. I don't know if Cena's going to have a match against The Miz before he retires. There have been rumors and reports, actually, if you look at the press release that Netflix put out for John Cena's final appearance on Monday Night Raw, which is taking place this Monday from Madison Square Garden in New York City, that Cena will be having one final match on Monday Night Raw. Whether or not that actually happens, time will only tell. Would he have his final Raw match against The Miz? Probably not. But this is going to be interesting to see who wins it. Now, naturally, you would think because of recent booking, Jey Uso is probably going to win this match and advance in the tournament. But given the fact that Jey Uso is going to be in the men's War Games match Survivor Series, you could maybe see a situation where the heels, maybe The Vision shows up or Logan Paul shows up and costs Jey Uso the match. And maybe there's a situation where maybe Jimmy Uso gets involved, and you see once again the tension between the Uso brothers, which has been displayed, hasn't it, over the last several months. So you can certainly see something like that happening. So I'm going to go with a bit of a curveball here. I'm going to say that maybe The Miz advances in this tournament. That's not a spoiler. It's the opposite of the Paul Heyman thing. That's not a spoiler. It's a prediction. But maybe The Miz might get closer to what he wants, and that's being John Cena's final opponent at Saturday Night's Main Event next month. Now, before we move on to the next number on this countdown list, a reminder, this video is brought to you in collaboration with all of our great affiliates. That includes NordVPN. You can see right there, you can get up to 77% off plus 3 months extra. All you have to do is scan our QR code or use our custom link. That's nordvpn.com/WN365. Once again, nordvpn.com/WN365. And we've got a busy couple of months coming up for the world of pro wrestling. Let's just keep it to WWE here, because tonight SmackDown, if you're in the United States, is on USA Network. But what if I told you you can watch it on Netflix along with every other bit of WWE content? You can streamline your viewing experience. You can. All you have to do is get a VPN, like NordVPN, change your location to an international territory, like here in the UK, and then with that, you can watch Raw on Netflix, NXT, SmackDown, main roster PLEs, no ESPN subscription, NXT PLEs, no Peacock subscription, as well as archive content. In addition to that, Saturday Night's Main Event for free next month on YouTube. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here in the UK. You can too if you're in the US. You can change your location to here in the UK. Watch John Cena's final ever match for free on YouTube. Also, watch Survivor Series as part of your Netflix subscription too. It's a pretty good deal, isn't it? So scan our QR code or use our link. It's in the video description below. It's pinned in the comment section as well. You can save yourself some money and you can support this channel in the process. Let's move on and talk about Drew McIntyre. Maybe this evening we just might be getting an update on what is going on with Drew McIntyre. Now, last week SmackDown closed with McIntyre being suspended from WWE by SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. Now, this came after he attacked referee Dan Engler and ruined the main event bout between Cody Rhodes and Aleister Black. The question is whether McIntyre is going to be accepting that suspension or if he's going to defy SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis by showing up at the MVP Arena tonight in Albany, New York. Now, this is going to be really, really interesting, isn't it? Because McIntyre, with his suspension, there was conflicting reports here about what just happened with him and if he was going to be taking any time off and all this situation. So basically, there was a report initially, I think it came from Dave Meltzer, who said that, oh, this is all a storyline cover because McIntyre is going to be taking time off. He's going to be filming the Highlander 2 film. Then it came out, I think it was PW Insider actually disputed that report and said, no, that doesn't actually start filming till next year in 2026. So McIntyre, this is just a storyline situation and he's going to be back on television soon. Now, I don't know necessarily what the end game here is for this storyline. It looks like Cody Rhodes, of course, is tied up with everything that's going on with the War Game situation at the moment. Now, he might circle back to McIntyre. Of course, McIntyre, like any great heel, he's got legitimate gripes. His gripe is that Cody Rhodes used underhanded tactics to retain the WWE Championship in their recent Saturday Night's Main Event encounter, and McIntyre continues to get screwed over and over again, and that's not fair. Now, whilst Cody Rhodes is involved with CM Punk and The Vision and whatever's going on, could this lead maybe to McIntyre versus Nick Aldis inside of a WWE ring? Two Brits, of course. Aldis from England, McIntyre from Scotland. They surely would know each other very, very well. I don't know if they've ever faced off before. They could do, actually, let's do a quick cage match search here whilst we're live recording this video. Let's see if McIntyre has ever faced off against Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis. Doesn't look like it. If I put in Magnus. Oh, here you go. They have faced off. They have faced off, or they've shared the ring for a match twice. Not ever in a one-on-one match. Now, I can see here on November 8th, 2014, there was an event in Belfast, Northern Ireland, Wrestling IE title, 4-way. Duncan Disorderly defeated Drew McIntyre, and Magnus and Mason Ryan. So they shared the ring in a 4-way. And then on an episode of Impact Wrestling back in June of 2015, on the 26th of June 2015, there was a TNA World Heavyweight title #1 contendership 20-man battle royal, which Drew Galloway actually won, and seemingly Magnus was actually in that battle royal. So they've shared the ring twice, but never in a one-on-one encounter that we can see on here anyway. Maybe it leads to it. Maybe we get McIntyre versus Aldis at Survivor Series, perhaps. Usually, those Survivor Series, it looks like there's going to be no world titles on the line from the men's side of things because they're going to be in the men's War Games match. So maybe we do get McIntyre versus Aldis. So many people have been clamoring to see Nick Aldis actually have a match now that he's with WWE. He's been with WWE for a while in this general manager role, also working backstage as a producer. But he said that he's not retired and he wants to have at least one match under the WWE umbrella, and maybe it's going to be against McIntyre. Maybe this is what it's building to. Or maybe it's just a thing where McIntyre is just going to be feuding with Aldis for the next several weeks, and then after Survivor Series, he circles back to face off against Cody Rhodes. That could be a possibility as well, couldn't it? Now, speaking of War Games, probably this evening we're going to get some confirmation on just what is going on with the Women's War Games match. We saw on Monday Night Raw a pretty explosive ending to the show in which we have brand new Women's Tag Team Champions in the Kabuki Warriors. We saw the Kabuki Warriors being joined by Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Of course, last week on SmackDown, Lash Legend kind of, I say moved up to the main roster, returned to the main roster kind of situation, right? But after Nia Jax and Lash Legend crashed the main event of Monday Night Raw this week and cost Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss their women's tag team titles, all four ladies are ready to be locked inside War Games at the end of the month. We saw Rhea Ripley and Io Sky return and laid out the challenge for War Games. Now, there is a bit of confusion about whether it's going to be 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 so far, and the match hasn't even been officially confirmed, so expect some confirmation tonight on SmackDown. So far, we've got Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky going up against Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors. It feels like there's probably space for one addition on both sides. Now, there has been reports and rumors suggesting that maybe the person to be added to the babyface side of things is going to be AJ Lee, and the person to be added to the heel side of things is going to be Becky Lynch. This Monday on Raw from Madison Square Garden, of course, we've got that Women's Intercontinental Championship match in which Becky Lynch is defending against Maxine Dupree, and they've been building that for quite some time, and with it taking place in MSG, you feel like there's probably some kind of big angle to happen there, which might be an AJ Lee return, and then they get added to the War Games match at Survivor Series. I could see that definitely being a thing. So expect tonight probably some confirmation on it being announced for Survivor Series, and maybe they have an angle this evening to say, but you've both each got to find another addition to your team, and maybe they get those additions Monday night on Raw. Maybe they get the addition for the heel side of things this evening, right? Maybe we could see a situation where they go Becky Lynch, she's going to be leading the heel team at Survivor Series, and the baby faces, you're going to have to find out who you're going to be having join your team. So expect that to get confirmed later on tonight on SmackDown. Then we move on to the men's side of things because, of course, we've got Cody Rhodes, who is going to be expected to be on the show tonight. He's the WWE champion, and he's SmackDown's WWE champion. But the American Nightmare's been going across brands recently, hasn't he? The American Nightmare has joined his own War Games team alongside World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and Jey Uso. But he does have this unfinished business between Aleister Black and also Drew McIntyre as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this evening, WWE. Is it just going to be Cody Rhodes' sole focus is on War Games and that's all he's going to be doing? Or is he going to kind of separate what he's doing depending on what show he's on? So when he's on Raw, the focus is just on War Games. When he's on SmackDown, the focus is on McIntyre and Aleister Black. That could be what they do. Or we have more crossover. I mean, it felt like the men's War Games match was going to be a pretty Raw exclusive thing, but now Cody Rhodes is now involved in that. There's speculation on maybe Roman Reigns being added to the team. That's still 4 people. And could we see another babyface get added to the team tonight on SmackDown as well? Maybe we see a situation where Drew McIntyre gets added to either the Vision, or could he somehow get added to the babyface side of things? I doubt that. But maybe McIntyre could get added to the men's War Games match on the heel side of things, teaming up with the Vision and Logan Paul. You could maybe see something like that happen. And then possibly you have Roman Reigns join up with the baby faces. What the other member of the team would be. There's been speculation maybe about a Jimmy Uso, even a John Cena, even though that's kind of being disputed at the moment. Cena's not advertised or been announced for this show this evening. So I think maybe with Rhodes, we get maybe a bit of an explanation for why he showed up on Monday, his thoughts about the Vision, etc., etc. But also he's still got to deal with Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre, and that's something to consider as well. And finally, we've got this match about the Last Time Is Now tournament. It's an opening round match, LA Knight versus a mystery opponent. Now, this was actually confirmed last week on SmackDown, wasn't it? LA Knight, who is a former ally, he's teamed up with John Cena before in the past. He's going to be in action this evening in the Last Time Is Now tournament to determine who's going to be facing John Cena in his retirement match next month at Saturday night's main event. But we don't know who his opponent is going to be. SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis gleefully kept that name hidden from the public after he pulled it out of the Tumblr last Friday. So it's open season as to who it possibly could be. It could, of course, be just a regular member of the roster that hasn't already been announced for the tournament, whether it is an R-Truth or maybe it's someone returning from injury, or it could be someone from a completely different company. There have been reports suggesting, well, they advertised, didn't they, they'd be from another company. It led to quite wild speculation. Oh, is Adam Copeland going to be involved? Is Chris Jericho going to be involved? I don't think anyone under contract to AEW is going to be appearing in this tournament, but there's the possibility of talents from TNA Wrestling, from AAA, from NXT. Recently, of course, it's been reported just in the last 24 hours that Joe Hendry is now officially a WWE superstar. He has signed with the company and he is done with TNA Wrestling, even though he had a bit of extra time on his contract. I could see something like that maybe happening where LA Knight's opponent is someone that is technically from another company, but actually signed to WWE now. So maybe it's Joe Hendry, even though he could be spending more time in NXT, as evidenced by his recent appearances there. And of course, his pursuit with Thea Hale of the AAA mixed tag team titles. Maybe it's Joe Hendry appearing and you have Chelsea Green and Ethan Page costing him the match, and that plays into the storyline on NXT. But LA Knight is going to be facing this mystery opponent. I expect LA Knight to probably win it. I mean, it depends who his opponent is, of course, doesn't it? But I'm going to go with LA Knight to win. But the mystery opponent, who do you think it could be? Let me know your predictions about that in the comment section below. So there you go, guys. There are 5 possible major surprises for tonight's episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? What do you think is going to happen? What are your predictions? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, as you can see right there. We're less than 140 subscribers to go until 25,000. That's our goal, to hit 25k in 2025. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Wrestle News 365. Really appreciate everyone for tuning in, as always, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.